Hey friends, so glad you're with me again here for another Mike Talk on Tuesday. Song and Sword, we proclaim Jesus with a song of grace, sword of truth. We do this every day. And it's the everyday habit of being in the Word of God that I'm trying to promote with you guys. And so many, hundreds, maybe thousands, are reading through the Old Testament. And this week we're reading through 1 Samuel, so keep going. Again, you might be going, what is 1 Samuel about? Well, it's about the days of the judges. There's no king. Everyone's doing what right in their own eyes. And yet, there is a thread of Jesus and grace and truth coming through. We're going to learn about another truth here in just a few moments, 1 Samuel 5. But first of all, let me say we're praying for you. So text prayer to that number on the screen because we want to lift you up before the Lord and stand by you, stand with you. You know, the word fellowship has this idea of standing beside people. So the Fellowship of Song and Sword Church is here for you. We love you. And we hope that you have a great day today. And we're going to start off with 1 Samuel chapter 5. Now, remember yesterday we said that the Israelites took God's Ark of the Covenant into battle like it was some lucky charm, and they lost it. So what happened to the Ark of the Covenant? Indiana Jones found it. No, I'm just kidding you. It's way down the road. 1 Samuel chapter 5. After the Philistines had captured the Ark of God, they took it from Ebenezer to Ashdod. And they brought it to the temple of Dagon, and they placed it next to his statue. When the people of Ashdod got up early the next morning, there was Dagon fallen with his face to the ground before the ark of the Lord. And so they took Dagon, and they returned him to his place. But when they got up early the next morning, there was Dagon fallen with his face to the ground before the ark of the Lord. This time Dagon's head and both of his hands were broken off, and lying on the threshold, only Dagon's torso remained. Sorry, this cracks me up. That is why still today the priest of Dagon and everyone who enters the temple of Dagon in Ashdod do not step on Dagon's threshold. The Lord's hand was heavy on the people of Ashdod. He terrified the people of Ashdod and its territory and afflicted them with tumors. We find out later he afflicts them with mice, these cities of the Philistines. I'm going to get to the lesson in just a moment and why this is important for us to understand, but I just love this matchup. This is God versus God, they think. But it's really the one true living God. Remember we said yesterday, Big G God. When Big G God comes in the presence of little g God, like a false god like Dagon, the god of the Philistines, the statue falls. And it does this twice. In other words, I've like to look at this way. It's like the statue Dagon cannot stand upright in the presence of the Lord. He falls on his face and eventually breaks and doesn't exist. And there's a story in us that for there, it's like whatever God you choose to worship is not going to stand up before the real God, the God who sent his son, Jesus Christ, right? So maybe that's a lesson for us today. And I love this idea. I think this is where the expression daggone it came when it fell down the second time. Daggone it. Anyway, nope. Dad jokes are great. That's why I tell them. What happens is God says, listen, I wasn't going to be a lucky charm for my people just to waltz into camp and say, hey, we can win because we got this Ark of the Covenant. I'm not used like that. And he's also saying to the Philistines, who are the pagan people that God has judged many times, he's saying, listen, I'm also not contained in this box. You can't contain me. I'm not something that now that you have me, you can flaunt me in front of your false gods and you can use me. So God sends these plagues. First of all, he knocks Dagon over. He sends these tumors all through the camp. We really don't know what the Hebrew word totally means, but older translations used to be hemorrhoids. So think of those kind of tumors. And then mice everywhere. God overruns the land with mice and hemorrhoids, and no gods can stand before the Ark of the Covenant. What's the point for us today? The point for us today is that God, no matter who you are, whether you're the people of God or not the people of God, he cannot be contained. Don't think that you've got him in a box. Literally, the Ark of the Covenant is a box, and it's a symbol of God's covenant with his people. But when that covenant is broken, you can't just carry the box wherever you want and do what you want. You can't disregard God. I know these lessons are very similar, but I was struck with both of them because on the one hand, the people of God could not just use him for a good luck charm in battle. On the other hand, people who were far from God could not contain him, could not keep him in a box, could not put him on a shelf like, oh, just put him with the rest of our gods. He's bigger than that. Today, don't put God on a shelf. Don't think that you can compartmentalize your life and put him in a box. We use that, thinking outside the box kind of expression. But literally, the Ark of the Covenant was a very, very fancy box, rectangular box overlaid with gold and angels hanging over the top of it. But God saying, no, that's just a symbol of my presence when the people of God follow me. I cannot be contained. I cannot be handled. You as human beings can't just put me somewhere and carry me where you will. I'm God, and I have all the power in the world. I'm really digging these first 2-day lessons here in the first full week of March, because it reminds me my God is big, and he is bigger than my sin, and he is bigger than my illness, and he is bigger than my fear. He is bigger than anything I'm going to face today. You cannot contain him, but he's promised through his son Jesus to be with me. So I'm aware of his presence today. I can't move him where I want to, but he can move me, and he can move in me. And that's the promise of the day. I hope that blesses your soul today, guys. Love you. Peace.